Hey, how's it going? I'm your friendly neighborhood potato or egg or gamer. I mean, maybe I should do a poll to see if I look more like an egg or more like a potato. That's probably a good idea. A new line of merch incoming soon. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're good. So this is one of my sort of like chatty streams, which is pretty much all of them at the moment. The idea here is that you're more than welcome to ask any questions you want, whether it be about StarEngine and me, my channel, all that sort of jazz. Oh, Chris, thank you very much for the resub. Very much appreciated. Yeah, star. Put question in brackets in the chat, where if you're chatting from, it'll help me pick it out, and then I'll try and answer it. But it can be about anything. But you know, the topics that I'm good with are StarEngine and myself. And to an extent YouTube. Yeah, I hope everyone is doing well. There's some stuff I want to talk to you about today. Probably more specifically sort of like changes with 3.6, delays with 3.6 content. Some of the stuff we're looking forward to with that, or what I'm looking forward to with that, I suppose is more appropriate. If you want to talk about CitizenCon, if you want to talk about sales, you want to talk about that sort of stuff as well, happy to do it. I'm a super mega sleepy at the moment. I've got a doctor's appointment on Friday to see if there's an issue with me being so fucking tired all the time. But it's more probably like I'm just unfit. Why is it so important to comment first? It's not. I find it an amusing sort of like thing that people do. So I will reward them by almost always commenting on the first comment and saying, good job. It might be a cultural thing. I think it's a interwebs-based culture. And because I started saying, good job, people started doing it more. You like turtles, Evan? Good job. People need to compensate you for your stuff. Well, they do by watching. And people are more than welcome to, you know, donate or Patreon or something. Osri, thank you very much for the resub. 20 months. Oh my god. Many months. So what's happening here? It's just sort of like an interaction that I come on streaming and I chat. The chat. We sort of talk about StarEngine and we talk about new things. I talk about other people's ideas, my opinions, all that sort of jazz. Hopefully reasonably informative as well. J-Bad Max, I love your face. Ted, Wendell Boy, I love your face as well. I never said your name before, I don't think. I might have just called you Ted before. Marcel, on Marcel Winklemüller, apparently there's a free 890 jump for all of his watchers. So go and subscribe to him. I think that might have backfired somewhat. Just wanted everyone to know that my Space StarEngine company organisation is called the Space Company, TCS, and everyone in the org is annoyed by the name. That's good. That's a good way to start a company. Good job. Hi all, anyone from the Caribbean? Well, I'm not. I know that for a fact. I heard Algred missed the Astropub this weekend. Was it okay without him? Well, I don't know what it would have been like with him, because he wasn't there. It was just me, the few, and Astropub, Mr. Paul Shelley. It was good. It was pretty chill. Nice and short. It's not like a 4-hour episode. It's like a couple of hours, which is between an hour and 2 hours is perfect for a podcast, in my opinion. It was nice. It was chill. You were missed, Algored. You were missed. Any news about the data gameplay and the related ships? Not really at the moment, beyond what we've already been told, that there's going to be sort of like the ability to carry data as cargo in sort of these data haulers. But there might be lots of other missions that open up because of that. There might be ways of intercepting data, packaging data, saving information like locations and things and selling that as data as well. We don't really know beyond the more early concepts of that. Take my free money, I will. Happily. Do you live stream Mixed Mondays better? Thank you very much. It's going to be a pretty lackluster one today. In StarEngine Law, do you become a YouTube overlord at some point in time? I don't know. We need to make sure that that is actually written into law. So maybe I have like an empire, then overtaken there's someone else. Or maybe I get to a point where I take over the whole of YouTube, and it's just BoredGamer content on YouTube. That's the only thing that anyone watches. That sounds more really realistic as well. What's the biggest ship I own? A Javelin. I own a Javelin. I think that's the biggest ship you can own. Hi, Bored. Love you, bro. Hope you're doing well. Hope your dad is doing well. Yes, I think he's doing pretty well. Still waiting for his Father's Day present to turn up, which is a bit of a shit. Admittedly. He's doing well. I've got a doctor's appointment on Friday. Just a bit of a quick health check. Sluggishness can be a symptom of an overly acidic diet. Well, I've got lots of alkaline-based foods. To be honest, I've been losing quite a lot of weight. So I'm doing a reasonable amount of exercise. I've moved on to whole grain food and quinoa and stuff. I've moved away from a lot of acidic food that I've got, what I previously had. Taking kelp extract. So I'm reasonably balanced, if not more alkaline, where possible now. So hopefully, maybe it's just because of my changing diet. I feel absolutely shattered all the time. But I was always pretty tired anyway, so who knows? Do you think the black market law system will add any new vendors and markets? Will it just be changes as to which existing vendors will accept goods? So, they've basically said, there's a video coming out in about an hour and a half from my channel. I'm going into loads of details about 3.6. But the idea is that there will be a couple of vendors per planetary system. So, and the me. The biggest ship I own is Keanu Reeves. And the me? What? I'm confused, Huntress. Or is this a meme? Are you memeing with Keanu Reeves? I love you, Huntress. Huntress is my chief mod. She is indispensable. She went away to Japan, and I missed her. We all missed you, Huntress. Thank you very much for the resub. You are a legend amongst all people, even the good ones. Bam. So yeah, so there should be a location or two around each of the major planets. So whether that's near the moons or on the outskirts of each of the planets. So assume there's one near Crusader, one near Hurston, and one near ArcCorp. Forgot the thing. Probably Delamar as well counts. A location or two where you can buy or actually sell stolen goods, and they'll probably jostle up where you can sell narcotics as well. But the idea that they also talked about salvage yards or scrap yards being locations where you might be able to sell these. So there's potential for 3.6. There might be some new locations and some new vendors. How long do you think until we see a 3.6.x patch? Well, I think we'll see 3.6 either wider PTU for everyone or live for the end of the month. I think they will actually hit that schedule, even though they haven't hit Evocati yet. I do think we'll see Evocati this week. I'm dying for rentals. It finally gave me more reason to play, then just rinse and repeat. Yeah, so really important, those ship rentals. Totally agree with you. I don't know how long it's going to be to get a 3.6.x patch, because they're going to want to probably wait until they've got both the 890 jump and the ship rentals ready. Maybe they won't, though. Maybe they will just launch them as they're ready. 3.6.1, 3.6.2. I don't know, but it'll be before 3.7, so within the next 3 months. It could be a couple of weeks, it could be a couple of months. That's the problem. I don't know. I have no real way of gauging it. Look at the roadmap, but you don't know how long those tasks are. There is a beepy sound happening outside my house, which I don't know what it is, but if you can hear that, you have to deal with it.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
Oh, thanks very much. Mr. Pinks, thank you very much for the Eggman love. Oh, Maka, thank you very much for becoming a member. Appreciate. Much appreciate. How can I start a Star Citizen organisation? So just on the community side of the RSI website, I'll bring it up for you and show you. Rob. Go to Robert Space Industries and you go to community organisations. You can literally just create there. Bam. 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 Easy as that. What else have we got here? Blah, blah, blah. Question: do you think we will see breaching pods anytime soon, or C4, or some other kind of hacking tool for breaching doors as part of gameplay, breaking comrades out of, or sneaking ships with stealth? Breaking comrades out. What? Comrades. You've broken my brain. Yes, so ships sort of like have lightly planned entry points anyway, so you can. The idea is you'll be able to blow off turrets. For entry point, you'll be able to blow off some of the docking collar, the ship-to-ship and ship-to-station docking collars, doors, ramps, and that sort of stuff. You'll be able to breach them in some way, and we're expecting a mixture of hacking tools, welding tools, so like the multi-tool, C4 type stuff, lots of different ways of getting in potentially. And that will be gameplay at some point. Don't know when. Could be this year. Can we talk about the 890 jump versus the Polaris debate at the moment? Can you see an interesting dynamic happening here? Any more info on server-side object container streaming? They've talked us a little bit more about server-side object container streaming. They say that it's dependent on full/true persistence as well. So they're both dependent on each other, and they're both reliant on each other, and they were coming at the same time. Now, I believe that they can't actually increase the size of the gameplay area with like adding another planet or city or whatever until they get that in. So there still is the plan to have microtech in for 3.8 at the moment anyway. So I would suspect that they're trying to get that tech in for then as well. Probably for CitizenCon, admittedly. And then they'll show off loads of cool new stuff in 3.8. I like the 890 jump. And obviously, when it comes to combat-based stuff, the Polaris is a torpedo combat corvette, effectively, and should have to sort of like wreck, really, the 890 jump. But the 890 jump's obviously going to be reasonably fast and probably not want to one-on-one, 1v1 a Polaris. But, I mean, there'll be balance. The 890 jump is a party yacht. It's obviously going to be pretty solid for multi-role missions. If it gets in close to the Polaris, maybe it'll be able to do a good bit of damage. But the Polaris's torpedoes are pretty strong. That said, I suppose the 890 jump is going to have those... I think it's got room for AI blades to be able to put in so that you can automate some of its turrets for point defense system. If you protect the 890 jump reasonably well, you can probably do severe damage or push the Polaris away. We don't know 100% until it's in our hands, but that's my opinion on it anyway. Hi, Board, what's your opinion on the latest 3.6 feature pushbacks from last Friday? So, it's a massive shame to have the 890 jump and ship rentals not in the initial release of 3.6. However, they are going to be in 3.6.x patch. So as long as it's reasonably timely, I'm not too worried about that. There's still a lot of content in 3.6. We are also losing the character customizer V2. Anything else that moved? The Banner Defender also moved to 3.7. So I mean, there's a lot of shame there. A lot of disappointment with that sort of stuff. But still pretty excited for 3.6. I mean, the lore and black market system, they look fucking amazing. Sign distance field tech for shields. Not sure to what extent that's going to be implemented, but that's pretty cool. And there's loads of other bits and bobs. So I don't mind so much that that some items have been pushed back. It's not all of it, it's just some of it. Are the new space stations coming out in 3.6? Yes, the new space station exteriors, at the very least. They're not the full new station experience, I suppose, is the way of putting it. 3.7 will also go a lot more into the internals of the stations and marry the two systems together, the external and interior, sort of like procedural generation of them. So 3.7 for a lot more, but you'll see a lot of cool exteriors in 3.6 as far as I'm aware. Any word on the F7A body kit? No. I would still assume that the F7 body kit is more of just a skin for your ship more than anything else. Don't assume that it is a full loadout change or change to the F7A. Just assume that it is a skin applicable to the Hornet. New concept should come out soon. shouldn't it? I wonder what it could be. So every 6 weeks, typically. When didn't the Tumble Ranger finish on the 13th or the 10th of this month? We could see a new concept at the end of this month coincide with 3.6. That's not unheard of. Well, possibly iron deficient. Yeah, maybe. I do eat a lot less red meat than I used to now. I do have some iron supplements, but I haven't been taking them the last few days. I appreciate people concerned about my health. I'm not like in terrible pain or anything. I'm not like, oh my god, I can't breathe, or like exhausted. I'm just tired all the time, and I'm very conscious about my health, both mental and physical. Anyone know when the 890 jump will go for sale? I'm expecting it when the 3.6.x patch that it is in goes up live. Then they'll probably sell it again, would be my expectation. Probably a limited number, maybe only for Warbond. We'll have to wait and see. Again, I would expect to see them on the 23rd of November with the CitizenCon and anniversary sale. Is there any reason to expect the Warden to get a weapon enhancement? All they talk about is cosmetics. Assume that it will, because they have been going through ships and giving them loadout changes anyway. So loadout changes are a thing. Obviously, you can buy weapons for it in game anyway now, and those weapons will persist. Not between the major resets, but up until them. So in that sort of sense, there's probably a lot of sensible loadout options for it. But I would expect it to have its loadout and hard points and everything looked at for this rework at the same time. When do you expect to have some news on the Banu Merchantman? After 3.7, after they finish the Banu Defender. What about the rumours of ground missile launcher vehicle, Aegis? I have not heard that rumour, but that sounds fucking amazing. I want more military ground vehicles. I want an APC, I want a light tank, a ground to... well, a multi-purpose ground to ground and ground to air missile launcher would be fantastic. With Chris saying there was going to be some straight to flyable concepts this year. Well, straight to flyable ships. They're not really concepts, so they're straight to flyable. What are the odds of the concept at the end of June being straight to flyable? Yeah, sometimes on major patch releases, we will see a ship that is, or a vehicle that is straight to flyable, rideable, drivable. That's a possibility. How are you travelling up to Manchester for CitizenCon? Probably by plane, Zero. Southampton Airport's absolutely great for it. Is there a ship concept that you have thought that you would like to see in game? If not, is there a ship you can think of that you would want to be added into the game? So I like the idea of a drone corvette, combat drone corvette. I want to see loads and loads of ground vehicles. I want to see a medium ship for salvage, for mining, and other industrial roles as well. There's quite a lot. A mine layer I'd quite like to see. A interdiction focused ship that's to do with actually bringing people out of quantum travel. A web of fire. Those are something that helps slow ships down. A true e-warship. If a gamer is really, really bored and seriously so online, would that be copyright infringement? What? Say online. I don't understand. I'm confused. My brain is imploding. Do you think that I had larger pads and hangars for the 890 jump other than Lawville and Area 19? Potentially. So, as far as I'm aware, the 890 jump will be able to land on the largest pads that are available in 3.6. And whether they're adding larger pads to 3.6 is another sort of like question, I suppose. I'm not sure. Obviously, that they are redoing the space stations or adding space station exterior customization generation. So they've got lots of different ones, and that might have large pads there as well that we haven't seen before. The 890 jump is 199 meters long. Its landing gear may be able to fit it on one of the largest pad in Port Olisar. May. didn't really cut half the 3.6 patch. Recently, they did move some of it back to a 3.6.1 patch or 3.6.x patch, and a couple of the features out again to 3.7. But there's still a good bit there. I mean, it is certainly disappointing. It's not as big as it was. If you go back historically, you can see stuff moving from 3.3 to 3.5 to 3.6 to 3.7 and back and forth and stuff as well. Do you know anything about the range of ships you're about to buy in-game? I hope it won't just be ships that you can buy for real money, because I want to buy the Sabre and other non-available ships out. So what they said was that it will be a wide range of ships, which could be most of the ships that are currently flyable in-game, available for purchase, and eventually rental. So we don't know exactly. There are going to be different ship inventories in each of the shops, and in each of the ship kiosks that you can then purchase ships from that are going to be in 3.6. We know that one of those ship kiosks is at Asher Armada, Area 18 on ArcCorp. But beyond that, we don't know for sure. I'm hoping that we see most ships. I mean, maybe the Asperia ships you won't see, stuff like that, like the Scythe and Glaive, and the Blade, because they are rarer. Or maybe they'll just be incredibly expensive. Do you think we'll see anti-warp bubbles being an in-game thing at some stage? Well, there'll be interdiction. They've talked about the quantum interdictors that they want players to be able to use at some point. I mean, there's quantum interdiction now by NPCs. But expect that to get a lot more fleshed out. Whether it's going to be a module, an item that you can mount on your ship, or if you need a purpose-built, focused ship for interdiction in the future, quantum interdiction specifically, is we don't know yet. You love my face. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Just to be sure, player going to be able to buy ship permanently for the alpha, or is it going to be applied for the final game too? I'm a bit confused by that question, but you will be able to buy ships in-game with in-game credits. At the moment, there is a major reset every 3 months, meaning that any of your purchases made in-game with in-game money are reset for that quarter or whatever. However, in the future, not too distant future, they have said that they're going to have less or no more resets. So you'll up until like a major reset, you will have whatever you've got item or ship-wise until that reset, which could be potentially like a couple of years or something in the future. There could be a reset for beta. There could be a reset for full launch. I'm almost certain there will be a reset for full launch. And then we'll move on to using UEC. Basically, the gauge is when we're using UEC rather than alpha UEC, that's probably when everything's persistent and not going to be reset ever again. But you can buy ships in-game in 3.5.1 now, and you'll be able to buy a lot more in 3.6. What kind of ships you want to see? I love to have more all-round ships from different manufacturers. I'd like to see more focus ships, actually. As I said earlier, like Quantum Interdiction focus ship, EWAR focused mine layer, lots of different ground vehicles, medium miner, medium salvage ship. I love the idea of and a corvette, a military corvette for drone gameplay, military drone corvette. I love the idea of semi-disposable infantry drop and breaching pods. I think there's escape pods, so there might be sort of like boarding pods in the future. I believe that the Vandal Cleaver, I think it's the Cleaver, is sort of like a boarding pod. Would you personally prefer the idea of multi-purpose built pod or to a repurposed cargo container like in The Expanse? Oh, I see what you mean. I don't know. I mean, the easiest way of them doing shipboarding is EVA shipboarding, and when a ship is entirely disabled, ship-to-ship boarding. So, I don't know. Probably the most sensible for the game, for the way my brain works, and more function over form. AC, AC, thank you very much for the bits, very much appreciated. And thank you very much for gifting subs to Planet Uranus, oh god, and Bloody. See what you did there with your name. Thank you very much appreciated. Love your face. With everything on in game, will server-side object container streaming be able to keep up with your desires? I don't know. I'm hoping so. I mean, my desires really are for them to make consistent progress from quarter to quarter, and I want a finished game at some point. So, I mean, it's a step in the right direction. Will cap ships function like rest stops, trading shops, bars, hubs? So, I mean, for the Banu Merchantman, for example, it's going to have shops on board, apparently. Shops on board that you can use the function. I'm not sure how they're going to work from the sort of like player exposed end. On capital ships, yeah, some of them have got bars and hubs for the crew, and we're not sure about shops and trading on the capital ships, but that could all be done by a contract system anyway. So maybe you don't actually need to have a proper shop or anything like that. We know there's going to be bars. They want to have bartenders, NPC bartenders on ships as well, or the ability to have that. Sorry if it wasn't already asked, but when do you think they will sneak other ships into 3.6? What's your best guess? So 3.6.x, I don't know, between 2 weeks and 2 months after 3.6's release. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know how far along they are with them either. Do you think we will be able to have weapons without... Oh, I see what you mean. Do you think they're going to... Do you think they will sneak other ships into 3.6 rather than when do you think the other ships from 3.6x are coming out? It's very possible that we would see something straight to flyable or straight to drivable in 3.6. Do you think we'll be able to have weapons without having to wear armor, like weapons on a sling or holster? Yeah. I think we'll be able to couple the flight suit from FPS gear at some point. So you'll be able to wear clothing and a weapon, I'm pretty sure. Do you believe they will push salvage or refueling gameplay? I hope not. Push it back. With the refueling gameplay that we're going to be getting soon is sort of like more the way your ships regenerate fuel and giving more uses for fuel and sort of like more info and data on how fuel's going to work in game rather than the actual refueling mechanics done properly. Salvage is for 3.8, I believe, at the moment. And I hope that doesn't get pushed back because that's the next major new gameplay loop. Now we have Now we know that server meshing, server-side object container streaming, and persistence need each other to work. Server meshing doesn't need... Well, object container streaming, server-side, and full persistence don't need server meshing. Server meshing needs them. But full persistence and server-side object container streaming need each other. And they have to come before 3.8 to enable the new content to be added. Isn't that pretty big news? Well, we don't know exactly. The stuff from 3.8 could get pushed back. It could be partial implementations of things. But yeah, it's very possible that we will see server-side object container streaming and full persistence for the end of this year. Will the delays to 3.6 content cast... Oh my god, I can't words. Will the delays to 3.6 content cascade, resulting in delays to us being able to feed people in a giant sandworm? What? So, I think they'll probably get back on top with 3.6, hopefully. So hopefully they'll get released at the end of this month. I think they're more likely to push individual features back than push dates of a patch back now. Keyboard, love your face. You're going. I know, don't go. Notice me, senpai. What, you asked noticed? I love you. I'm sorry, AC. I love you. You know I do. When do you think we'll see land claims? So they wanted land claim gameplay at the end of 2018. Obviously, loads of stuff got rescheduled. And it was sort of like Aaron's sort of like, oh, I'm really excited about this. It was the thing he was most excited about. So I think we could see it. I mean, they might start talking about it before the end of this year again. I'm thinking we'll see it middle of next year. I've been trialing about 10 different orgs over the past month. When I ask what YouTube videos do you watch, everyone says BoredGamer. Good fucking job. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. Do you think there will be land space combined battles together to gain an area of land created by RSI? Or do you think that that kind of thing will only be player created? I think there'll be combined arms battles. And I think that there might be missions, PvP or sort of like mineral wealth and things like that in areas which will push players to fight like that. Yeah, there very well could be PvP, more orientated missions. There could be lots of stuff that's happening and fighting between orgs over mineral wealth on an area. If you were to rate your current satisfaction with game development at how many board stars out of 5? Oh, that's hard to say. 3.5 at the moment. I mean, disappointed by some things recently, but with I'll restar them when we get to 3.6. I mean, they broke 3.5, sort of like a lot of the fun I was having in 3.4 was broken in 3.5. They fixed some of it in 3.5.1, but it was still largely buggy. So I love the project, and I understand it's an alpha, and I'm in it for the long haul. But that was disappointing, definitely. And there's disappointments with 3.6 features being moved out. What kind of performance improvements should we expect to the core tech additions with 3.6? Well, I mean, core tech-wise, potentially we could have a much better server experience. There's not going to be much in the way of a better client-side experience when it comes to frame rates and stuff. They're already pretty high, unless you've got on like a trash PC or you've got an outlying problem. Again, some of those outliers, yeah, they might fix some of those, and they might get the performance a little tiny bit better client-side. But it's more about the server-side stuff, as far as I'm aware with 3.6, and making the servers authoritative rather than the client-side having authority. Which basically means you should see players rubber banding around less. And if they've got a bad connection, they're going to suffer on their end, not you. So if they're shooting you and you can't see them because they're rubber banding, all their hits aren't going to hit you. It's going to be sort of like if you shoot them, the server's telling you where they are. So you have a smooth experience with that. And obviously that's a major sort of major step in getting server-side object container streaming and stuff into the game. But you could see a lot of server improvements. You could see, hopefully, a lot of the problems that we currently have with AI and that sort of stuff. They're still going to be derpy, the AI. They're still not going to be particularly, in my opinion, not going to be particularly competitive or a challenge until they get all the AI written in, which is coming later. It could be working to an extent. Do you have to put on the community-made logo thingy on your YouTube videos if you use music from the fan kit? I haven't accessed the fan kit. I haven't used this fan kit. I'm using the YouTube. I'll show you what agreement I'm using. There's full credits to the music in my videos. Cloud Imperium. Oh, the Cloud Imperium Games website's down apparently. Support. Fandom. Here you go. Did I post that? I don't know if I posted that or not. Bam. And again, just in case I didn't. But that's what I'm using. Did you ever have any problems with any of my videos or anything? They're more than welcome to contact me. But I'm pretty good at using stuff for fair use. Same as if you were using in-game footage, it's all covered under that. At what point can we transfer SCU cargo from one ship to another? They are putting extra systems in for that, I believe, in 3.8, or at least moving towards that. So let me bring this up on the screen for you. Is it 3.8 or is it 3.9? Might be 3.9. It's 3.9. So Q1 2020, they've got commodity transfer timers. They've got accounting apps. They've got economy display terminals. So they're moving for like greater sort of cargo gameplay and that sort of stuff. Now, whether or not we're able to actually take it more easily from ship to ship by hand, that's a different story. Don't know. But that's when we're moving towards more and more cargo gameplay 3.9. What is your favourite ship currently? And is that also your main? I don't really know anymore. Like, I love the Sabre. Sabre's my favourite, probably, fighter at the moment. I love the idea of the Vanguard Sentinel. I love so many of the economy ships. I mean, the Carrack's pretty high on the list. And in Merchantman's high on the list. 890 Jump's high on the list. I love too many ships. Are you also having to server hop often, or are things mostly now playable for me? When I play, typically during the mornings, I'm not having to server hop much. I occasionally have a problem with something, so I jump on another server. But maybe once or twice in a 4-hour session. But typically during the mornings, there's less people on. So, what kind of performance improvements should we expect with the core tech additions? Right, I've already talked about that. Is it worth subscribing? Kind of toying with the idea. Well, for RSI, what I would say is wait until they start their new line of subscription flair and stuff, because apparently they're going to make it much more appealing for people to want to subscribe. So probably wait until then. Be money efficient. That's what I'd do. Oh, Joshua Rurak. Joshua. I'm not even sure if that's how you say Joshua. So thank you very much for the donation. Very much appreciated. Love your face. We could see server-side object container streaming and full persistence properly, but for the end of this year, potentially. I mean, we might even see tests in 3.7. That would be pretty optimistic. Will the Warden's nose weapons be customizable in 3.6? I am hoping so. Do you think in 3.7, alongside the Vanguard variants, they'll also give Battlefield upgrade kits? Upgrade kits, the bucks. Holders, the modules and gear too. Also, yay! Don't know. I don't know. I suspect we won't have to wait too much longer if you've got a Battlefield upgrade kit to get those items. That'd be my expectation, but I don't know. Possible Aegis Cruiser or Assault Carrier concept during the Aegis event in August. Yeah, August 24th, there is a concierge event, and they're unveiling a new Aegis ship. It could be, a lot of people are just assuming it's a capital ship, as actually probably MI. We could have a drone corvette, we could have a cruiser, an assault carrier, we could just have another corvette, could have another light carrier. Do you think the final game might be boring for people who played the Alpha a lot? I mean, there's probably potential for that. It depends. At the moment, the final game is going to have so much more developed sort of gameplay and mechanics that we don't have now. It's going to be a whole new game in many magnitudes. So I'm planning to play for like a good amount of years, 10 years lifetime of the game potentially. Are we close to a solution for the always hilarious ejecting yourself to certain smashy death when you're on gravity problem? They want a way of keeping us alive. Whoop year of awesome. Thank you very much, Aztec, for the 12 months of sub. Thank you. Yeah, they've said that there's going to be a way, and they do want a way of being able to eject the atmosphere and not dying. Don't know what it is yet or when it's coming. How many years can CIG still get away with not delivering tangible gameplay? I mean, there is some tangible gameplay in Star Citizen now, so it's kind of past that date. And they're pretty slow. I mean, yeah, you'd need to define what you mean by tangible gameplay. I mean, the development's pretty slow, but they are adding stuff. And I think the idea is that, assuming they give us a Squadron 42 release date, or if Squadron 42 is going to be released next year, then that's their focus at the moment. So if they can get Squadron 42 out next year, I think that's sort of like, it is my level at the moment. That's what I'm expecting. That's what I'm hoping. Is 3.6 delayed? It doesn't look like it. It looks like we're probably getting an avocado patch this for 3.6 this week, and that's my expectation. And the 3.6 live or build for everyone to play, so PTU for everyone by the end of the month still. So features have been delayed, but 3.6 itself as a released patch has not been delayed yet. Any board org events coming up? Yeah, when 3.6 is out, I promise you I will set a load up, or some up. Probably heavily abusing the friendship of Hunters. Do you think 3.6 will give more certain retention of components bought because they're still disappearing randomly on reclaims at the moment? Yes, I think they will continue to improve that. If we have full persistence, don't you think the community events risk being less fun? No more 50-man killing sprees. Oh, I see what you mean. No, I think people will do more things. I think that those events will be even more fun because of that. I suspect that if you're in the same group, you might be able to set permissions, so in the same way as like a scramble race that they want to do, you won't get criminal ratings for killing each other or whatever. Along with the new stuff in 3.6, do you think CIG will include a lot of fixes for the most common annoying bugs? Yes. I mean, they sort of need to. Yeah, so the interesting thing with FOIP and VoIP is that they said they wanted them to be more widely adopted in 3.6. So hopefully they will be. You'll be able to comms call to people and stuff like that. How will they manage organisations not getting too powerful at the later stages of development? I'm not sure if they've thought about that yet, because I wouldn't have allowed organisations to be any size they wanted. Like what is test like 18,000 members? Maybe that's an exaggeration, but maybe it's accurate. There's a lot of players in that org. In EVE, you have maximum size of organisations, and you have to like improve stats and skills to get your org bigger. But there's still like a maximum size, and that's why like alliances are so important. It does prevent any one organisation becoming too powerful effectively. Imagine new players not be able to claim new land. No, so there's going to be multiple places to claim land, so the planets are massive, so don't worry too much about that. The idea is that in UEE safe areas, so like more protected areas, you need a UEE land claim to lay claim to land legally, and have it as your land, and no one else can claim it. And if someone's on that and trespassing, the cops get called or whatever, or you can get them declared as a criminal or whatever. It sort of like protects your land. In the more Wild West areas where there's no UEE protection, you just sit down and plop your outposts down and claim that land and abuse it. You don't need and can't use, I suppose, UEE land claims in those areas. Will ships have landing bays like the Carrack and Polaris be able to fully refuel and rearm ships that have landed in their flight base? Don't know for sure. The assumption is that they will be able to service the smaller ships to some degree. I'm expecting the Carrack to be able to fully service the Pisces. And the Polaris, I'm not sure. Rearm, refuel, some level of repair. We need Jumptown back. We need that gameplay loop back, and 3.6 has got the black market system, it's got the law system, it's going to be looking at narcotics again, and so hopefully we'll have the good level of risk and reward, we'll get some better sort of like gameplay loops there. I'm hoping that players can scan other players' ships, and if they detect narcotics or stolen goods on that ship, when they scan it, they can then engage appropriately. That's sort of my hope, is then people will literally be scanning each other, and it might take a while to scan. So you're like, if you're trying to get away from people scanning you. So after 3.6, will there be no more resets? So there won't be a reset until 3.7. But for no more resets, and I use that because I'm still thinking there might be for the beta and for the full game before it goes live and that sort of stuff. But for less resets, or no more in the short-term resets, not every quarter reset, they need server-side object container streaming and full/true persistence, whatever you want to call it, which could be done for 3.8 maybe. We'll have to wait and see. And that would be the end of this year, if we're lucky. But it's hard to judge how far they are along with that. They did say they were testing, or just about to test, server-side object container streaming, so... Is CIG planning to add full cockpit functionality more in line to a full flight sim? I think there's going to be elements of that. They are redoing the HUDs. So in 3.6, you'll see the Aegis Gladius with a new HUD, which they will then, after tweaking it, roll it out to new ships with a similar style. What will MFDs look like in the future? I don't know, but expect them to really, really, really dial them in so they're good looking. They have jukebox. They have a jukebox music player for hangar use. Do you think we'll get the ability to play our own music in our ships? I'm not sure. Maybe. I mean, there's in the 300 series now, as well as some speakers as well. So potentially, I'm not sure about the legality of being able to pump out your own music and stuff in game. Which planet is that in the background? That is a moon, Gaini, 1A of Odin. So Odin 1 gets supernovaed, boom, and then in the Odin system, there's the coil, which is left, like leftovers and bits of the planet. And then this is Gaini, which was once one of its moons, and is in Squadron 42. Eventually will be in the Resistant universe as well. Do you think they will integrate something like Google Translate into the chat box? I don't know. I'm not sure what sort of translation options there will be, or if it will just be mainly English being spoken. I have no idea. I haven't even thought of that. Hard to say if you're stumbling on the names, or if my connection drops. It's me being shit with names. I'm terrible at it. My dyslexic brain can't work out words it hasn't read before. When will be the resets gone? Is it in 3.6, 3.7? I'm thinking probably 3.8 is still the earliest, but I'll have to wait and see. When do you think we'll see placeable objects in cargo containers? Oh, so they have been working on that, and they've been doing lots of like the new interaction system, and they are looking at deeper cargo mechanics and that sort of stuff over the next few months. I'm not sure when we're going to be able to open up and place objects in cargo containers, but the tech is already pretty much there, as far as I'm aware. Probably after full persistence, when they're able to save the data like that more efficiently. At some point next year, since Star Citizen has a special deal with Twitch now having partner status, getting ad revenue, and being able to lock channel chat by sending it into sub-only mode and still post videos. I'm so confused. Yeah, Lumberyard, obviously the engine that Star Citizen's now using, is owned by Twitch. There's lots of stuff they might do with Twitch. I mean, they might link it up to the in-game news fan and sort of like render to texture stuff, but we don't know. Have they said anything about the bug where you break your legs on everything? I believe it's being handled for 3.6. I'm not 100% sure. It's not everything you break legs on. It's just your legs are very... You're like Mr. Glass. Are the landing pads on Port Olisar big enough for the 890 jump? And what about the other cities' stations? So, as far as I'm aware, the landing pads that will be in 3.6, the largest ones, will be able to take the 890 jump. However, I'm not sure if that's everywhere. I'm assuming you can do it from Port Olisar. I'm assuming the landing gear on the 890 jumps in such a place that it will fit on the largest pads there. Obviously, they are making new space station exteriors for 3.6. The A90 jump is 199 meters long, which puts it by far the largest ship in the game. Not heard much on StarTech. You know much about dates or features? Can you please be more specific, Adam Naylor? What? Squadron 42 is going to come in chapters, or will it be a full campaign? So, Squadron 42 is, episode 1 is 28 chapters, I believe. Let me show you. Squadron 42, episode 1 is 28 chapters, and they're all listed as one in episode 1. There's also going to be Squadron 42 episode 2 and episode 3, which will be released 2 years after each other. And expect them all to be standalone, effectively AAA games. Or that's how I'm viewing them. Will we have Q2 2020 on the roadmap this week? No, I'm expecting a couple of weeks after 3.6 has come out, we'll probably see Q2 on 2020. Q2 of 2020 on the roadmap, yeah. Yeah, they need to try and get in server-side object container streaming and full persistence as soon as possible, and then they can work in earnest on static server meshing, which is the first stage of server meshing. Are rest stops and space stations the same thing? Rest stops are space stations, but there will be other space stations. So there's going to be cargo stations and lots of other abandoned stations, some occupied, some automated, some for mission content, some as pirate bases, things like that. There will be, like the Gundo Kovalex investigation mission thing, as a space station as well. 18,306 members in test, yeah. It was around 18,000. Do we know exactly how much better the faceware cam will be for VoIP? No, it's supposed to be the best possible experience, though. Will it be worth waiting? Don't know. I mean, you're not really waiting for it at the moment, in my opinion, because they haven't got VoIP and VoIP to a level that's widely adopted yet anyway. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, I think you're going to be able to have a good, if not great, experience with VoIP just on like a C920 Logitech camera anyway. But if you want the best possible experience for people to be able to see how emotive your face is, then the face-aware camera is going to be the best. Do you think a galactic war will break out when we get full persistence? And if so, which orgs will ultimately dominate unclaimed space? It's going to be an interesting thing. Obviously, large orgs have a big like bonus when it comes to subduing other people. But not necessarily, because there's going to be server caps as well. Full persistence is going to be interesting. We're only going to have one system to start with, and there's going to be multiple servers still. So, it's hard to tell with that sort of stuff. There's definitely going to be orgs and that sort of stuff trying to lock down some servers. Are the physics grid ship hangars only on the pad floor or up until the bay doors? I see. So it's different on different ships. The idea is that the gravity is aboard the whole of the sealed ship, as far as I'm aware. And yeah, in the future, if you do a huge maneuver, that could have people bouncing around in your ship. But I'm thinking that they'll probably go with the more sensible option of just having, well, once you're in the physics grid, you're sort of like, doesn't matter if they're spinning around like loons. You might feel a bit of shake, but nothing else, unless the gravity goes out. When do I think we'll get proper grouping and mission sharing? 3.7 was probably when the earliest I think we'll see it. David Stockton, when is scanning and stealth gameplay coming in? So we have scanning and stealth gameplay now, just not to a great degree. You can scan stuff down, you can see signals in little blobs, and then when you get closer to them, it will passively detect what that is. That can be minables, that can be a ship, that can be a probe, that can be a group of ships. Stealth is just the management of your systems. Now, expect those systems to get better and better with each patch until they're sort of like more of a standalone focus on them for missions and things. Egghead, that's not a question. Well, you said question at the beginning, so maybe it is. Yeah, why not? Whenever I play Star Citizen, I get the urge to buy ships. I just stop playing, but want to play. Any help? Hopefully with 3.6, you'll be able to buy a load of the ships in game, and then with the rentals coming in 3.6.x, you'll be able to rent ships to your heart content as well. Board, even after release, there will still be a need for Star Citizen news. Will there be an in-game BoredGamer on our ship MFDs telling us the latest breaking news? Yeah, so I'm with whatever ability there is, I am planning to do in-game stuff, whether that's in-game stuff but on YouTube or in-game stuff that is disseminated directly to other people's MFDs and Moby glasses in-game. That'd be fucking great, or both. Do we have any updated news on the cargo stations? Not really. They're obviously the improvements, the exterior updates to stations are coming in 3.6, and some of those will probably be used for cargo stations in the future. I have a simple mind and I'll make simple questions. How is VoIP and VoIP works? So VoIP is voice over IP. It just records your voice on your or broadcast your voice from your microphone to anyone that you've allowed it to be broadcast to. So you can be in a public channel, hello, so it'll broadcast it around you, or you can be in a specific channel for like a group or whatever, so it just broadcasts to those people. VoIP is face over IP. That is literally your webcam translating the movements of your face blah, 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 to your in-game character. And so together, that works really well, so you can have a conversation with someone. Obviously, you can, in 3.6, they want it to be more widely adopted. You're able to do comms calls to people in ships. If someone's requesting a service beacon for assistance, you can bring that player effectively and then talk to them. Will CIG change the sounds of ships in atmosphere? I believe that it's a constant iteration process. Will our physical inventories be 100% location unique? Will we be able to transfer items from one locale to another remotely via Covalex? Maybe for a fee, but the idea is that you'd have to either carry or pay for it. You'd have to have that item at that location to be able to pull it out. So you'll be able to put items in your ships, but then grab later. It's the same with your like clothing and your EVA suit and stuff like that. You'll be storing them in habs and on ships and in other locations. There might be a way to pay to have them remotely moved from one location to other, or you just buy the stuff again. Will they give us a teaser chapter or half a chapter type prologue in the Squadron 42 beta? I'm not sure, nor am I sure Squadron 42 beta who it's going to go out to. My expectation would be it would be a closed beta just for Eva Carty, and just before the game goes live. Any form of beta that they'd have beyond that would be for internal testing. That's my expectation. More specific on StarTech, I mean, do we know how much and what they are planning for stars, black holes, etc.? I mean, there's lots and lots of points of interest and interesting anomaly stuff planned, but I'm not sure to what extent. I know that the Pyro system has some solar flares. There is a system that has a black hole in it. Hi Board, what's your view on being able to upgrade your Javelin through ship customization to a military spec? I mean, I just wouldn't have that. I mean, okay, number one, there's very... When it comes to military surplus, I wouldn't want to see the same sort of ship customization options anyway. Just get it in-game. I'm fine with the Javelin that you can buy in-game or out-of-game being the derpiest, lowest tier civilian gear. I'm also happy with being able to customize my Javelin fully after-market customization by buying the stuff in-game. I don't want to be able to fully customize all my ships to military-grade spec just for money. That is fucking ridiculous. So please don't do that, CIG. Not that I think they will do that. Which episodes are included in the current Squadron 42 pledge? Squadron 42 episode 1 is in the... If you pledged now, that's what you're getting. They're not even talking about Squadron 42 episode 2 or 3 yet. This is a full, standalone AAA game, or at least a full single-player campaign that the idea that we were originally getting. The other 2 games are additions to that. DS Digital Design, it's not 199 meters, it's 180. I thought it was 199 meters. Have you got a source, CS Digital Design? I've got, in my notes, I've got 199. And that was from Pipeline Dude. Do we know detail about the new black market system? Will we be able to steal ships and sell cargo directly from the hold for insurance? Now, this is interesting to know because we don't really know. The expectation is that we will be able to steal ships and cargo and be able to sell them for a fraction of the price at those fences. Because what else would it be that we'd be able to steal? It would just be mission boxes and guns. Off people. So, do you have any tips for getting better FOIP functionality with facial hair? My stash really interferes with mine. Yeah, so the way you scrunch your face up before you turn the FOIP on, make sure that your face is flat to the camera. Make sure you've got the flicker on correctly, the anti-flicker mode. So if you're in the UK, for example, you want 50 hertz rather than 60 hertz. That sort of thing. Turn down your white balance. Because that will mean that you're will give a more two-tone effect on your skin and lips and facial hair, so it should be able to differentiate between them. Is the Avenger the best starter ship? I would say, in my opinion, the Avenger Titan is probably the best ship that you can start the game with, budget-wise. Budget for what it does. If I buy weapons right now, will I get to keep those for my ships? So if you buy weapons in-game, and put them on your ships, those changes persist even after you reclaim the ship, so you effectively get to keep the weapons until the patch resets. So every 3 months or so, Alpha UBC and Alpha UBC purchases reset. So it'll be when 3.6 comes out, bam, you'll have to grind up for those weapons and gear again, but you can put them on the ship and they'll persist until 3.7, and that will be a continuing process until we get no more resets, which is planned to come out with server-side object container streaming and full persistence coming together. But we don't know when that is. I'm thinking probably by the end of this year. It would be madness, but that's what it looks like. Will all changes to your ship now stay if destroy or despawned? Yes. That's true. When you reclaim your ship, they will still have the changes. What if the Vanguard nose gun can be swapped through the customization options when buying? That's possible. So one of the other things is that maybe we will see the Vanguard Warden added to the customization system from the website. That'd be interesting. If you can customize its nose guns, you need to be able to customize it after market customization and not just only on the ship customizer on the website with real money. That would again be bullshitteroo. Warbond is usually just for concept sales and for rare hulls and things like that as well. So, will I be able to remake the glory of the British Empire? Furthermore, can I revive Majesty Queen Elizabeth II to lead this new found British Empire? No, you can't. That's not a thing in game. There's no law for this. Do you think the current changes to the Wardens in 3.6 will stop my one ramp hatch from killing me? Yes, I mean, they are changing the whole ship, basically. That ramp is wider, and the ship's basically a new ship. I'm hoping that it doesn't kill you. Maybe it will kill you in whole new ways, though. Whole new ways to kill you. Don't you dare close your eyes. We've only had three concepts, so I assume this year is what you mean. 3 concepts so far this year. Seems a lot less than other years. Is this due to the customization on upcoming ships slowing down, or is there another reason that you know of? No, they're only going to sell ships when it's appropriate. I think they've got a lot of ships they're working on in the pipeline, so they don't want to keep on just pumping out concepts all the time. But we typically get one every 6 weeks to 2 months. I think there's probably a good few ships that are going straight to flyable that we don't know about. I mean, including like Titan suits and things like that as well this year. So They announced they are nerfing the 350R hull for performance gains. Yes, that is true. When will we get those gains? Right now, 113 meters a second is not worth the cost and sacrifices. So the idea is that the 350R just has a lighter hull, so it's a much more better performing racer. You're not going to see its true potential until they balance racers altogether, and that probably won't come for a long while. I'm pretty sure they said 199 in pillow talk. Let me try and find the quote. It's Star Citizen. That's not what it is. 199. So yeah, in my notes I've got it as 199, and I've got it. That source is coming from Pillar Talk. So, bear with me. Find Pillar Talk. YouTube. Pillar Talk. Bam. So let's pause that for a second. Let's bring that up. Let's go here. So
we've got 19 different laws on the book.
they've got 19 different laws for the black market and law system.
Wholesale or VoIP and VO channel to talk to your. This release, we should have most of that sorted out and taken care of. Yeah, so I'm hoping to see a lot more use because the feature's great. We're working as still more stuff happening. The power that my engines.
I'm looking for the. Wait, they mentioned the 890.
It's from those two ships, which will ships and is working on it. Well, a big one in 351. We snuck it into 351. There's like 109. Very mindful that it's not 890 jump. That's also not going to hit 3.6 on release day. It just needs more time. There's a lot of stuff there. It's like 199 meters. A lot
Sorry, that's the sound. That's the sound of my. I thought I was wrong, but I now know I'm right. It's like 199 meters, I should say. That's the quote. We good? That's where I had it from. Typically, I actually have time codes to stuff like that, but for some reason I didn't there. I had to find it myself, so apologies for not having it adequately signposted. Something I should actually do. When you take down a renegade ship, say a Connie, and kill the crew, will you be able to add that ship to our hangar permanently and buy insurance for it? So, I don't 100% know. It's an interesting one. There may be ways of taking people's ships, whether they be lawful or unlawful or whatever, and making them yours. That's the sort of thing that we want. Even if you have to pay extra to make that lawful, that would be good, rather than just having them all scrapped or something. So there might be a way of doing that in the future. I expect it to be reasonably expensive to do that. You're not just going to go, ha, and that's my ship. They're going to probably try and encourage you to scrap ships or whatever, or spend the extra time to really capture a ship properly and then spend a bit of money making it legal that it's yours and that sort of thing. So they are going to want to drive the economy. As 3.6 has some feature creep. What are the essentials you want in 3.6? I've literally done a video that will be out in about 20 minutes talking about all the features in 3.6. I don't think 3.6 has had much feature creep. It's had features creep out of it. I mean, the main things now are to get the servers authoritative, so that they're one step closer to server-side object container streaming. And that will obviously help with a load of the server problems that we potentially have. That they need to fix a load of the problems that the 3.5 branch had, make the AI not derpy, and make the game significantly less buggy, lots of quality of life stuff. The main gameplay loops have to be that for 3.6, the new law system, the new black market, all that gameplay. There's quite a bit in 3.6 thinking about it, but they need to make sure the core of the game bloody well works. The law system is going to include players spending time in cell right, not in 3.6, it's not. In the future, they are going to add prisons, and potentially bounty hunters and stuff might be able to capture people and things. We don't know how that gameplay is going to work either, but not in 3.6. When do you believe they will finish ship animations such as pivoting thrusters based on your steering, etc.? Ongoing process, I don't know when. In Pillar Talk, Tony Zorovic spoke about piracy, like we could currently take someone's ship and sell the cargo at full price. Well, you can... So, the idea is that in piracy, you should, with 3.6, there should be some things you can steal off players, potentially ships, potentially their cargo, potentially some of their gear, and sell it at a fraction of the price. I don't think he implied that we could sell it at full price now. Do you know anything more about the Anvil Ballista missile truck? If you're sworn to silence under NDA, just wink. I don't know anything beyond any form of rumours that people have about a Ballista missile truck or an Anvil truck. Although I do think that I do want to see more ground-based vehicles and some more military ground-based vehicles. And so that is a good idea. Is the Avenger Titan package still available? The Avenger Titan's still available. Just buy a Mustang Alpha package and then use the CC system to upgrade it. How many players in the verse total? I think there's 2.2 million player accounts, I think. Is that right? We can actually go to the funding page and actually find out. Funding! There is 2.3 million Star Citizen accounts. Do you think they should bring in an enterprise to the game to bring all Trekkies to Star Citizen? I mean, they've got a battle bridge on the 890 jump. I think you'll probably see an enterprise-inspired ship in the future. Are there good resources now on which components to choose for upgrade? Yep, there are. Check out this DPS calculator. Look through the weapons and gear there. King Potato, when can we revolt? We'll wait until the time is right for revolt. Because I already feel like we're revolting. What percentage of players are concierge? Don't know. I can try and find out. I'd assume 1% or less. It'll be like, 20,000 people. Is there a way in-game now to chain your turret to the rest of your guns? No. Unless it's no. So there's no proper slaving for manned turrets or that sort of thing at the moment. The plan is that you'll be able to slave turrets still, I believe. Is the Caterpillar worth it? Maybe when we see the rest of its modularity and what things it can do. Obviously, it's a pretty powerful hauler at the moment. What do you want to do in the verse? The Caterpillar is going to be modular later and be able to take on various roles, but it's purely a cargo runner at the moment. Yes, indeed. Is server-side object container streaming implied to be in the game prior to 3.8? No. Not really. They haven't really said us when it's going to be. It's implied to be in game for 3.8 because of Microtech. You really need that tech before expanding out the gameplay area any further. When will I be able to put my rover into my exploration ship? What is your exploration ship? You can now for some of them. You can in the Constellation or whatever, or if you're using a Starfarer. Will Star Citizen be available on Google Stadia? I'm not sure. Google Stadia feels more like to me for more console-esque. It's sort of like Stadia is more of a console platform. Sort of, what is to me anyway. It potentially could be. I wouldn't expect it to be though. I'm obviously a massive shill for Shadow, which is a streaming service in a similar vein to Stadia, but it gives you more sort of like customization. It's a Windows 10 platform, so it gives you Windows 10 desktop, Windows 10 platform, customize it how you would a normal computer. Stadia is going to be more locked like a console, I believe. But I have to wait and see. I haven't heard anything about Star Citizen being on Google Stadia. In-game will be required to wear socks. I feel like suitable socks should be a requirement for flying a ship. I've not seen socks in the game yet. How can you pledge for a non-default ship, not listed as ship upgrades on the RSO website? So there are sales occasionally, a few times a year, with most of the ships going on sale around the anniversary, which is like 23rd of November this year. You can also buy ships by going into the pledge store and then going extras. And you can see individual ships there that are currently available for purchase. Should I melt my 325A and Arrow to purchase a Vanguard? Wait until you see what the Vanguard's like. If it's amazing and great and it's everything you wanted it to be, then maybe. Any word when the next free fly will be? No, but I'm expecting when 3.6 around when it goes live. When can I spawn 2 vehicles at the same time is guess what I'm wondering. So you can sort of spawn multiple vehicles at the moment, but soon you'll be able to literally spawn a vehicle inside your ship. I'm not sure when. Maybe with ship-to-ship docking. Maybe they're going to have that as an attachment or a customization for your ship. You can literally go and put my vehicle in this ship and it will spawn with it. How's it going? We don't know. No. I do know how it's going for me. I'm doing okay, thanks. I'm a bit tired. I'm going to dash off for dinner in a bit. What does the asynchronous disconnection refactor thingy do? I believe it's a code cleanup to make it so that the client and server sort of like more appropriately handles issues rather than just disconnecting the player and crashing the server. It sort of like is able to go, well, don't crash. Fix it or migrate people or there's a problem with the client, just disconnect that client rather than crash the server. It should clear up a load of problems with the server and the clients connecting and that sort of jazz. On the topic of ships not currently on the roadmap as mentioned in Puller Talk and theories to what we might expect. Squadron 42 ships, Titan suits, some of the Vandal updates, vehicles for the ground. There's loads and loads of things. Releasedness, things like that. Is the Sabre Raven with 2 months insurance worth $75? Will I be able to add lifetime insurance in some way later? So you probably won't be able to add lifetime insurance sometime later, but you can always just pay for insurance for your ship. In that regard, it would be lifetime insured. Also, lifetime insurance probably won't be that powerful. It will probably have a level of insurance for your ship up to a certain level. Thank you very much, Daniel. Thank you. Greetings from Germany. Greetings back to Germany from the UK's. Thank you very much, Daniel. Thank you. Yeah, so expect lifetime insurance to cover the cost of your ship up to a certain level. But if you want additional insurance, you're still going to have to pay more. Cover like all your weapons, all your guns, get your ship back quicker, all that sort of stuff. What ships do I have? Lots. Pretty much all of the industrial and economy ones. I've also got like a Javelin, 890 jump, some of the fighters. I've got loads and loads and loads. It would be a whole other podcast or stream just to go over my ships, probably. The UK's, the UK. I can't remember what my original pledge was. I think I originally pledged for an Aurora, then very quickly... No, maybe it was an Avenger Stalker. It might have been an Avenger Stalker, and then I think I upgraded that 325A, and then a Cutlass, and then I just bought billions of ships. What did you recommend as a medium-sized ship for some fights, but also basic other missions? Not the Cutlass. Oh, I feel like you've kind of blocked me there quite hard, because the Cutlass is what I was going to say. Maybe the Corsair? Maybe the Corsair. Or the Constellation Taurus. Shadow is reasonably expensive, 25 quid a month, and Stadia is probably only going to be $8.99 a month. But we don't know what you're going to be able to play on a Stadia, whereas Shadow is literally a gaming PC that you can play on any screen. We'll see. I mean, if Star Citizen's playable on Stadia, I would probably go, well, Stadia's good. I have to recommend Stadia over Shadow. I mean, I'm happy to shield the things as long as they are a good product. And Shadow, at the moment, is a fucking great product. Means you don't have to worry about upgrading either. It constantly upgrades for you. So. Lifetime insurance probably won't be that powerful. How powerful will lifetime insurance be then? Well, it's probably going to cover, as they said, a certain value, as Tony Zorovic in Pillow Talk, a certain level of value for your ship, but probably just the hull, but probably not any custom stuff that you do to it, which you would probably have to pay extra for, or if you want your ship back quicker, you'll have to pay extra for, or maybe you'll still have to pay a small sort of like deductible or whatever. But lifetime insurance isn't just going to be, ha! This is amazing compared to your shit insurance. As an experienced industrial player, any advice on how to make support repair gameplay more profitable when dealing with players? And be efficient, be safe, be intelligent, take missions that people are willing to pay a lot of money for in an area that's reasonably safe for yourself, or with escorts. I mean, we don't have the gameplay in our hands yet, so I can't tell you really. My guides will come from analysis of gameplay and how to do that efficiently. Are fixed weapons fixed yet? Not properly, not in 3.5.1. They work occasionally. I have had my HOTAS working in Shadow. I don't remember if we got VR to work in Shadow. I don't think I've tried since I asked DC if we can get VR working. When everything is working properly, do you think you'd lean towards wheeled or grav-led vehicles? I like wheeled vehicles more. There's something about the way they feel. What are my hopes for CitizenCon? I want to see Titan suits, I want to see 3.8 gameplay, I want to see a new system and jump points, I want to see a release date for Squadron 42, I'd like to see some cool Squadron 42 trailer or gameplay or the vertical slice, the new vertical slice for it. I'd like to see that's probably what I want the most. Beyond that, when it comes to ships and stuff, straight to flyable, drivable, shippable vehicle would be good, and a cool new concept. Yeah, Titan suits being available around then would be cool, because they could make them straight to rideable, straight to put onable. What's your favorite ship manufacturer based on the idea of the company? Drake, based on paper, their function over form. Do you ever sleep, or do you strive for exhaustion so that you can sleep? I strive for exhaustion so that I can sleep. I don't have very good. I don't like lying down and resting. I need to be exhausted. That's what I do for PTSD. You're awesome. The exercise is showing great pluses for you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I've lost some weight. I ate a little bit too much over the weekend, but it was Father's Day, so I had to eat fish and chips with my father and a kebab just before. Oh fuck, I'm a monster. But now I'm doing a good amount of exercise, and the diet. I'm eating loads of quinoa and stuff. Just replacing all the typical foods I'd have. But yeah, they originally thought I had PTSD, but it appears to be an anxiety-based condition. And I'm bipolar, so together hand in hand, that makes me a bit erratic. I'm a billion times better than I'm at managing it than I used to be, and I'm very mild compared to a lot of people with their issues. So I'm quite lucky for that. If Squadron 42 is supposed to release next year, when do you think we will get its star system in game for Star Citizen? Odin. There's the star system there. I mean, there might be other star systems in Squadron 42 as well, for all we know. I'm not 100% sure yet. But I think that we're going to have a jump point going to Pyro Magnus, and then from Pyro to, is it Nyx? And then on basically plodding a path to Odin, which makes sense. Hey, Bored, I use Shadow 2, and I like it a lot. But they offer a relatively small amount of RAM for Star Citizen. Any information when they're going to add more? I keep on poking them about it. I'm hoping that they either allow you to customize your Shadow, so microtransactions on your Shadow, to have better stuff if you want it, or they're just going to upgrade it to 16 gig at some point. There's a lot of new tech coming out, and Shadow constantly upgrade their rigs, so I'm hoping that they just, in the very near future, they just move up to 16. Do you think they'll roll out a 3.5.2 to fix almost all the major updates? No, because within a couple of weeks, they're supposed to have a 3.6. You think we'll get Elon Musk for Squadron? I liked the fact that Elon Musk was talking at the same time as Randy. No, not Randy Johnson. That's Bethesda. Or is it Bethesda? Look, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. At the same time as No Man's Sky, peoples. That was cool. That was a cool E3 thing. Keto's amazing. Okay. A lot of people that gone on keto. It's hard to keep it off, apparently, keto, though. I also have Shadow Ghost. It's pretty cool. Good. I'm glad people are enjoying Shadow, because I didn't want people to go, nah, it's trash, because I do like the service. I do test it at least with every major release and give it some tweaks. But I will, with 3.6, I'll fully update that Shadow guide I've got and page and stuff. There's been some other improvements to Shadow as well. I have not partaken or taken any narcotic products to help, no. Will you do a Star Citizen Ship Buyer's Guide again? Yeah. Or a Star Citizen Buyer's Guide, in what sense? I'll regularly do Ship Buyer's Guides. I'm waiting for... a lot of other people have now adopted the Ship Buyer's Guide name for some reason. I didn't know that I had started such a trend. But I was waiting really for the flight model to be a bit more dialed in. And I was going to do a full series of Ship Buyer's Guides again in detail. I did a review of the 300 series. It was sort of like, was a Ship Buyer's Guide, but it wasn't at the same time because I wasn't fully reviewing the ships. Because they're going to keep on changing in the short term. They will be more dialed in pretty soon, though. So. Are you aware of any changes coming to the star map? Not particularly, no. I know they want to integrate the star map in-game. I know they want the in-game star map is going to have... Oh, the in-game star map's going to be significantly improved. I know that. I know they've been working on that for a while. They're going to be able to roll down all the way from a system all the way down to a planet and then into a facility, and potentially there's going to be 3D maps for that sort of stuff as well. There's going to be ways of navigating better, potentially sharing coordinates, maybe compasses, things like that. Zen 3950X in September, or wait for Threadripper? You need to wait for third-party reviews and really how good it is for games, not just technical specs and whatever fucking non-gaming benchmarks they run. So I can't tell you what to wait for, but I'm waiting for both basically. I'm waiting until the NVIDIA Supers are out, the new AMD processors and new AMD cards are out. Especially because the interesting thing is that I'm quite happy to move over to AMD for all the stuff now. They've got on paper, they've got a load of good tech. They're really pushing forward with it. And if Star Citizen is going to integrate Vulkan, then Vulkan's neutral to graphic cards. It doesn't matter if NVIDIA or Intel or someone want to put in some proprietary tech or whatever. It's just neutral. So AMD should be in a really powerful place. What do you think of Morphologist's remodel of the 600i Touring? I have not watched his architect reviews and changes. That I haven't watched that latest video yet. I will watch it later today. Yeah, the other thing is the Star Citizen is going to apparently be scalable up to a good, if not however many cores is possible when it comes to CPUs in the future. If you could only purchase one ship from the game, which would it be and why? Carrack. Carrack's super multi-role, allows you to do pretty much everything. Except for mining, I suppose. Which is a shame, because I want to mine. Could Elon Musk's Starlink help get all players on the server eventually? And maybe, if it's super low latency. Will all ships be viable in-game? Maybe. It should be all ships. However, the Saber Raven was a promo ship. As was a couple of the variants of ships. They're not like objectively better or anything, but almost all ships should be viable in game, and it shouldn't be pay to win because of that. But you'll still be able to buy that off other people, as far as I'm aware, in game, and they probably will bring back the Saber Raven in game at some point. Do you know anything about the upcoming weapon balance? No, other than they are balancing weapons and the flight model still. And hulls individually. Or do you know how you can fly more smoothly with the mouse and keyboard, rolls left and right with small ships, and not very precise, which makes it hard to fly? I don't really know what to tell you. I'm not having problems with that. I've lowered my sensitivity down on my mouse. I fly in fixed mode or in auto gimbaled mode, typically at the moment. I'd need to see exactly what you mean. What is your favourite anime? Now that's a fucking hard question, because I have No Game No Life is pretty high up on there. I'm enjoying Rising of the Shield Hero at the moment. It's not the most amazing, but it's pretty good. ReZero is pretty amazing. I like Izakai's apparently. Overlord was pretty good. Killer Kill was pretty good. There's a lot of animes that I like. My video's up on YouTube. I'm going to dash off in a minute then. I'll answer the last few questions and then I'll go host someone else. Will Cabinet class explorers exist in the future? Oh, I think Cabinet class ships might be able to have very, very, very good modules for doing that, for mapping and exploring. I'm not sure if you'll see a focused Cabinet class ship beyond the Carrack. Maybe. I think it's an awesome idea. How will I be able to cruise around Area 18? In a motorcycle if there's no ground? That's a good point. Maybe they'll open up some of the highways and roads eventually on some of the planets. I'm hoping that we do get large roads that we can plow down. Area 18 will open up, and ArcCorp in general will open up some more of its buildings. There will be interiors there. There will be other areas to explore as well beyond just Area 18 in the future. If you could take a guess and prioritize... you take a guess and prioritize what areas of gameplay CIG will focus on the most. What order will it be? Combat, cargo, rescue, exploration, mining. So it's Squadron 42 and core mechanics at the moment. So combat, so combat and ship, basic ship stuff, travel, moving around the systems, FPS stuff. Sort of like all the core elements and aspects of the game. And then beyond that, I think it will be cargo, mining. Then they'll probably get repair in with medical. I think exploration will probably be one of the last things they do properly, because sort of like exploration is constantly going to be in game, but it touches so many different things. Science and exploration are pretty hard, but obviously repair and mining, salvage are all super important. I'm surprised salvage is coming for sooner than most of those others at the moment. Would you prefer CIG prioritizing getting current builds bug-free and more stable to play over developing new features? I would like them to have a small dedicated team that just works on bug fixes that doesn't affect the rest of the development. When are the Origin screenshot winners? Maybe today? Right. I'm going to dash off. No music in Lawville. Anyone know why? Have you turned your music off? I don't know, actually. That's weird. But thank you very much for the love. Thank you for the donations and the subscriptions and the hugs. And that one of my ears is gone now. Oh, very much appreciated. There's a video that's just gone live on my channel, so please endeavour to watch that. Actually, I'll link that in a shameless plug myself. And then we will host someone else. Bam. Thank you very much for that, though. Very much appreciated for watching. I will be back at some point soon. The video focuses on 3.6 and features we're getting, and the 3.6.x patch, and some of the stuff that's moved to 3.7. But thank you very much. Love you guys. Twitch. Go and see if G's streaming. The stuff that's moved to 3. No, then we're just going to host someone random. We will host someone random. Maybe not random. But Nerd Show and Tell, give him some love. He does good stream. Right. Thanks for the love, guys. Very much appreciated. You take care, and I'll see you soon. Peace. Bam.